A 10-year-old girl in Mexico walked into her classroom yesterday morning and saw someone sitting at an empty desk that shouldn't have been there. When she looked closer, she recognized his face from a prayer card her grandmother had given her. The boy in the hoodie smiled at her, pointed to her backpack, and vanished. Inside her backpack, she found something that would change everything about what happened next. What you're about to hear has not been reported to the Vatican yet. The family is still processing what happened, but the details are so specific, so verifiable, and so consistent with other recent apparitions of Carlo Acutis that this story demands attention. If you want to understand why this young saint is appearing to children around the world right now, don't skip a single second of this video. Hit subscribe immediately and turn on notifications, because reports of Carlo appearing to children are increasing dramatically in 2025, and we're documenting every credible account as they emerge. Something significant is happening in the supernatural realm, and children seem to be the primary witnesses. The child's name is Sophia. Her family has requested privacy, so we're not sharing her last name or exact location, but multiple witnesses have confirmed the core details of what happened. Sophia is a normal 10-year-old who likes soccer, struggles with math, and had never been particularly religious before this event. Her grandmother is devout, but Sophia's parents are what you'd call cultural Catholics. They show up for Christmas and Easter, but not much else. 3 weeks ago, Sophia's grandmother gave her a prayer card of Carlo Acutis. The grandmother had been praying to Carlo for Sophia, asking him to help protect her granddaughter at school, where bullying had become a serious problem. Sophia was being targeted by a group of older girls who made her life miserable every single day. The situation had gotten so bad that Sophia was having panic attacks before school and begging her parents to let her stay home. The grandmother didn't just give Sophia the prayer card, she taught her a simple prayer. "Carlo, you were young like me. You understand what it's like at school. Please help me." Sophia put the card in her backpack, but admits she rarely looked at it and only prayed that prayer a handful of times, mostly to make her grandmother happy. Last Tuesday morning changed everything. Sophia arrived at school early, before most students. She walked into her empty classroom to put her things away before heading to the cafeteria for breakfast. That's when she saw him. Sitting at a desk in the back corner of the room was a teenage boy in jeans and a hoodie, looking completely relaxed, smiling at her. Here's what Sophia told her parents, her teacher, and eventually a priest who interviewed her. The boy looked completely real. Not transparent or glowing or obviously supernatural. He looked like a regular teenager who happened to be sitting in her classroom. But something about him felt different in a way she struggles to put into words. She describes it as peaceful but also powerful, like when you stand near something really important. Sophia's first reaction was confusion, not fear. She asked, "Are you a new student?" The boy's smile got bigger, and he shook his head. Then he pointed at her backpack. Sophia looked down at her bag, then back up, and he was gone. Not fading away, not walking out, just instantly not there anymore. The desk where he'd been sitting was empty. Drop a comment right now, telling us if you've ever seen something you couldn't explain, especially involving saints or religious figures. These experiences happen far more often than people realize, but witnesses stay silent out of fear of being mocked. Sophia stood frozen for a moment, trying to process what had just happened. Then she remembered the boy pointing at her backpack. She opened it and pulled out the prayer card her grandmother had given her. The face on that card was the exact same face as the boy she'd just seen in her classroom. Carlo Acutis had appeared to her. But that's not where the miracle ends. That's actually where it begins. Sophia, still processing what she'd witnessed, went about her normal school day. The group of girls who usually tormented her approached during recess. Sophia braced herself for the usual insults and threats. But something completely unexpected happened. The leader of the group, a 12-year-old named Isabella, walked up to Sophia and said, "I'm sorry for how we've been treating you. It was wrong. We're going to stop." Just like that. No explanation, no context. The other girls in the group nodded in agreement and walked away. The bullying that had made Sophia's life unbearable for months ended in that single conversation. Sophia told her parents what happened that evening, both the apparition and the sudden change in the bully's behavior. Her father was skeptical, Her mother was concerned Sophia was making up stories, but her grandmother knew immediately. She called the priest at their parish, Father Miguel, and asked him to speak with Sophia. Father Miguel interviewed Sophia 3 days after the incident. He's a trained investigator for potential miraculous claims, having worked on several cases for the diocese. His report, which we've been allowed to see, describes Sophia as credible, consistent, and showing no signs of fabrication or attention-seeking behavior. He noted that she seemed almost reluctant to talk about what happened, embarrassed by the attention rather than enjoying it. But Father Miguel did something else that's crucial. He interviewed Isabella, the girl who had led the bullying campaign against Sophia. What Isabella told him is perhaps even more remarkable than Sophia's apparition experience. Isabella said that on the same Tuesday morning, she had a dream during her first class. She actually fell asleep at her desk, which her teacher confirmed. In that dream, a teenage boy in a hoodie approached her and asked one question: "Why are you hurting her?" Isabella couldn't answer. She tried to explain, to justify her behavior, but every excuse died in her throat. The boy didn't seem angry. He seemed sad, disappointed in a way that cut deeper than any punishment could. Then he said something that Isabella says she'll remember for the rest of her life. She prayed for help. "I'm here to make sure you stop hurting her. You're better than this. Show her who you really are." Isabella woke up from that dream shaken. She immediately felt overwhelming guilt for how she'd treated Sophia. The compulsion to apologize was so strong that she couldn't concentrate on anything else. During recess, she found herself walking towards Sophia without even consciously deciding to do it. The apology came out before she'd even planned what to say. If you're starting to see how powerful Carlo's intercession is, especially for children facing difficult situations, give this video a thumbs up and share it with parents, teachers, or anyone who works with kids. Stories like this need to reach people who can help children understand that heaven is real and saints actually care about their everyday struggles. Father Miguel's report documents something fascinating. He showed both girls separately multiple images of teenage boys, mixing random photos with images of Carlo Acutis. Both Sophia and Isabella, without hesitation, immediately identified the same image of Carlo as the boy they'd encountered. Neither girl knew anything significant about Carlo before these experiences. They couldn't have coordinated their stories because Isabella didn't know about Sophia's classroom apparition until Father Miguel told her during the interview. The priest's conclusion: "While I cannot make an official determination about the supernatural nature of these events, the consistency of the accounts, the character of the witnesses, and the immediate positive outcome suggest something extraordinary occurred that merits serious consideration." But here's what makes this case particularly significant. It's not an isolated incident. Reports of Carlo appearing to children have been increasing dramatically over the past year. We've collected accounts from the Philippines, Poland, Brazil, the United States, Ireland, and now Mexico. The pattern is remarkably consistent. Carlo appears most often to children between ages 8 and 14 who are facing some kind of crisis: bullying, family problems, illness, fear, loneliness. He almost always appears looking like a normal teenager in casual clothes, particularly jeans and a hoodie, which was his signature style in life. He rarely speaks at length, usually just a few words, a gesture, or sometimes just his presence. And the results are consistently immediate and positive. A 13-year-old boy in Chicago was contemplating suicide after months of depression. He was alone in his room, had written a note, and was planning to act that night. He describes seeing a teenager sitting on his bed who looked at him with such understanding and compassion that he burst into tears. The visitor said only, "Not today. I need you to stay." Then he placed something on the desk. It was an image of Carlo Acutis that the boy had never seen before, and that wasn't in his room. The image appeared out of nowhere. The suicidal thoughts vanished, and the boy told his parents everything that night. An 11-year-old girl in Ireland was being abused by a family member and was too terrified to tell anyone. She prayed desperately one night for someone to help her. She fell asleep and dreamed of a teenage boy who told her, "Tell your teacher tomorrow. She'll believe you. I'll make sure she believes you." The next day, the girl found courage to tell her teacher, who took immediate action. The abuse was stopped, and the family member was arrested. The girl later saw Carlo's image and recognized him instantly as the boy from her dream. These aren't stories from centuries ago that we can dismiss as medieval superstition or embellished legends. These are happening right now, to children alive today in our modern world, and they're being documented by priests, parents, teachers, and counselors who have no reason to fabricate or exaggerate. What does this pattern tell us? That Carlo Acutis has a special mission in heaven specifically for children and teenagers. He understands their world because he lived in it so recently. He gets their struggles because he faced similar ones. He knows how to appear in ways that don't terrify them, but instead bring comfort and hope. Think about how different this is from traditional apparitions. When Mary appears, it's often with specific messages about prayer, conversion, or warnings about the future. When other saints appear, it's usually in mystical visions to adults with religious vocations. But Carlo appears to ordinary kids dealing with ordinary problems: school bullying, depression, family conflict, peer pressure. He's not delivering theological messages or calling for public devotion. He's simply helping individual children in their specific moments of need. That might be the most beautiful aspect of his intercession. Heaven cares about a 10-year-old being bullied at recess. God sends a saint to intervene in that situation. The supernatural realm takes seriously what adults often dismiss as just kid drama. Parents watching this video need to hear something important. If your child tells you they saw someone they couldn't explain, someone who appeared and disappeared, someone who looked like Carlo Acutis or any other saint, take them seriously. Don't immediately dismiss it as imagination or attention-seeking. Children's experiences of the supernatural are often more authentic than adults, because they haven't yet learned to rationalize away what their eyes see and their spirits sense. Ask gentle questions. What did the person look like? What did they say? How did you feel? What happened afterward? Document the details. Contact your priest if the account seems credible. These experiences can be powerfully formative for a child's faith, but only if the adults in their lives validate rather than dismiss them. Sophia's grandmother did something right. She introduced her granddaughter to Carlo through that simple prayer card. She taught her a prayer that was age-appropriate and relatable. She didn't force devotion, but made it available. When the apparition happened, Sophia had just enough context to recognize who she was seeing and understand that heaven had responded to her need. What can you do to prepare your children or the children in your life for potential encounters with the supernatural? First, teach them about saints in ways that make them real people rather than distant figures. Carlo is perfect for this because he's so relatable. Show kids his pictures. Tell them about his love for video games and computers. Help them see that saints were once regular people who lived in the real world. Second, teach simple prayers that children can actually remember and use. Carlo, help me is enough. Carlo, I'm scared works perfectly. Carlo, I need a friend is a complete prayer. Children don't need elaborate theological formulas. They need authentic connection. Third, create an environment where children feel safe sharing unusual experiences. If your family culture mocks anything supernatural or dismisses spiritual experiences as nonsense, children will never tell you when something extraordinary happens to them. But if you talk openly about faith, about saints, about the reality of heaven's interaction with earth, children will feel safe sharing their encounters. The reports of Carlo appearing to children are increasing. We're documenting them carefully, separating credible accounts from probable imagination or fabrication. But the volume and consistency of these reports suggest something real is happening. Carlo seems to be particularly active right now, especially in reaching young people who are struggling. Why now? Why is there this surge in apparitions and interventions? Some theologians suggest that Carlo's recent canonization has released a new level of heavenly authority for his intercession. Others believe that the crisis among children and teenagers in our current world, rising suicide rates, cyberbullying, social media damage, family breakdown, has prompted heaven to send a saint who can reach this generation effectively. Whatever the reason, the evidence is clear. Carlo Acutis is appearing to children, helping them in their specific struggles, and leaving behind changed lives and documented witnesses. Sophia's case is just the latest in a growing collection of accounts that suggest this young saint is more active now than ever. If you're a young person watching this video, here's what you need to know. Carlo sees you. He knows what you're dealing with. He understands the pressure, the fear, the loneliness, the struggles that adults don't always take seriously. You can talk to him, you can ask for his help. And based on these increasing reports, there's a real possibility he might actually appear to you in your moment of greatest need. That doesn't mean you should expect a vision or feel disappointed if you don't see him physically. Most of his intercession happens invisibly, through changed circumstances, sudden solutions, unexpected help from other people. But the possibility of direct intervention is real enough that you should be open to it. Subscribe to this channel because we're committed to documenting and sharing these accounts as they emerge. Turn on notifications so you don't miss future reports about Carlo's apparitions and intercessions. These stories are happening in real time, and you can be among the first to hear about them. Share this video with every parent, teacher, youth minister, and young person you know. Stories like Sophia's need to spread because they give hope to children who are suffering and feel like no one sees or cares about their pain. This video could reach a child who's about to give up, and knowing that a saint might actually appear to help them could be the thing that keeps them holding on. Comment below if you or your child has had any experience with Carlo Acutis, dreams, visions, answered prayers, or unexplained help in difficult situations. Your testimony could be the encouragement someone else desperately needs. Don't be afraid to share. This comment section can become a safe space for people to document what heaven is doing through this remarkable young saint. As we conclude, consider what Sophia's experience teaches us. A 10-year-old girl facing daily torment prayed a simple prayer taught by her grandmother. Heaven responded by sending a saint who appeared in physical form, brought immediate relief to her situation, and even convicted her bully's heart in a dream. The entire crisis resolved within hours of Carlo's intervention. That's the kind of God we serve, one who cares about a child being bullied at school, one who sends saints to appear in classrooms and dreams, one who takes seriously the prayers of children and responds with miraculous intervention. Sophia's story isn't unique. It's part of a larger pattern of heaven actively engaging with the suffering of young people through Carlo's powerful intercession. Whether you're a child facing difficulties, a parent worried about your kids, or simply someone who wants to believe that heaven still breaks into our world in tangible ways, this story is for you. Carlo Acutis is active, accessible, and apparently more willing to reveal himself physically than almost any other modern saint. The boy in the hoodie is watching over children worldwide. He appears when they need him most. He intervenes in their crises. He changes their circumstances and their hearts. And he does it all while looking like someone they might see walking down their school hallway, approachable, relatable, and completely real. Saint Carlo Acutis, thank you for caring about children who are suffering. Thank you for appearing to those who need to see that heaven is real and that someone is paying attention to their pain. Continue to watch over young people everywhere. Protect them from harm. Give them courage in their struggles. And when they need it most, reveal yourself to them in whatever way will bring them closest to Jesus. Amen.